Hi friends, welcome to Ouroboros Tarot. Today's pick a card reading is looking into what it is that they have realized about you. I have 4 piles for you guys to choose from today. Pile 1, 2, 3, and 4. Go ahead and pause this video if you need to. Take as much time as you need to find the pile that sits right with your energy as well as with your person's, and I will see you in a minute. Hi Pile 1 and welcome to your reading. Thank you so much for being here. I'm so happy that you have joined me for this reading, and we're looking into what it is that the person on your mind has realized about you. So the cards that you've chosen here are going to represent who this person is, what their current energy toward the connection is, just so you'll be able to see whether or not this is your pile. I'll know what's going on. And then we'll get into the good stuff. Okay, so when it comes to who your person is currently, we have the gossip. The light attributes are awakens consideration for the feelings of others, honoring trust. And the shadow attributes are thrives on the power of passing private or secret information, betraying confidences. And we have the rabbit. And we also have forgive self, accept what has happened and give yourself grace to make mistakes. And then when it comes to your person's energy toward this connection, we have bittersweet and we have the river. Okay, so who's this person? What's currently going on? I feel like this is somebody who has made some pretty significant mistakes in this connection, and it has really altered the course of where this connection is heading or where it was headed. Like, it's altered things pretty drastically. And this isn't somebody who is unaware of this or is refusing to take responsibility of this. This seems like this is somebody who has let you know in some capacity that they feel responsible for what has happened. And I think that this person is currently working on trying to figure out how to do right by you and by this connection. I feel like for a lot of you, there's been a window of opportunity that's kind of come into existence recently, that perhaps this person didn't realize was still a possibility. Like, they could have thought in the past that this was something that was completely over. But it feels like there's been a new opportunity here to rekindle something or to try to make things right. This person feels as though they've been given a chance. I don't really see anything indicating that they're actually taking action toward you currently. It seems more so like this is like a thought that is being kind of, reflected upon on whether or not they should take this opportunity. And there's urgency here. Like, this person feels and understands that there's urgency, and this window of opportunity may not be here for very long. And so there's a lot of reflection going on currently. But yeah, and I would say that, like, this is something that you would be aware of, pile 1. Like, you would know of this window of opportunity. You would know that there aren't really like hostile feelings or hostile energies going on between the two of you. Like, there could still potentially be hurt here or disappointment, but when it comes to there being like a cold shoulder or a wall up, I don't sense that for you and your person. So if this resonates, let's go ahead and get into what it is that they've realized about you. So for the tarot, we're going to look into what it is that they've realized about their feelings for you. And I also have oracles that are going to be specifically for what they've realized about you as a person. Okay, Spirit, we're looking into pile 1. What has pile 1's person realized when it comes to their feelings for pile 1? Okay, so we have the Queen of Cups, the Wheel of Fortune, the Four of Pentacles, the Four of Cups, the Three of Wands. Why is the Queen of Cups here? Okay, we have the Five of Pentacles. Why is the Wheel of Fortune here? Okay, we have the Ace of Wands. Why is the Four of Pentacles here? Interesting. We have the Eight of Wands reversed. Why is the Four of Cups here? We have the Moon. And we have the Three of Swords, clarifying the Three of Wands. Bottom of the deck is the Eight of Swords. Wow. Okay. I sense, pile one, like your person, when it comes to what they're realizing, is that I don't think that they in the past knew how deeply their feelings could potentially run when it comes to you. I feel like for a lot of you, this connection may not have necessarily ever gotten off the ground entirely, which is why this person is just now realizing the level of anxiety that they're having when it comes to fixing or renewing or rebuilding or repairing, whatever the case may be, this connection. I feel like there is, when it comes to their feelings, there's a lot of hesitancy here. There's a lot here indicating that your person is very much so aware that there is a very strong possibility that they could be rejected if they have not already, oh my gosh, sorry. Lily, come on. If they have not already been rejected by you in the past. I feel like they have a lot that they want to say. There's suddenly this realization that like they really have, like they have a very strong message and a lot that's on their mind that they want to share with you. And yet there's this rigidness that's holding them back. And I also feel like they understand that there is this feeling of urgency that they've been picking up on for some reason. Like they've felt subconsciously like the window of opportunity may be closing, but when it comes to their emotions, they feel very strongly as though it's not meant to be rushed. It's not something that needs to be rushed. It's okay for them to hold their cards close to their chest for the time being from their perspective in order for them to know for sure what it is that they are doing. I think that this person is feeling pretty confused in terms of like, what's the right thing to do? What's the right thing to do? How can I go about being true to my feelings? How can I go about being true to myself and what it is that I want without causing any more harm or without causing any more hurt for you and for them? They feel like there's a very strong potential for change, and it's something that I think they're feeling intuitively, like deep down inside, they know that changes are coming for this connection. And because of this, they're really exploring the feelings that they have before they take action. When it comes to what it is that they have realized about you, pile one, we have the Castle, number 32, the Offering. We have Destroyer. The light attributes are releasing what is potentially destructive, preparing for new life. And the shadow attributes are intoxication with destructive power, destroying others' dreams or potential. And we have River. The keyword is soothe, and the question being asked is, am I receiving peace? And we have the Riddle. So, like I said earlier, like in the tarot, it feels like for a lot of you, this connection was never given the opportunity that it deserved. And I'm sensing that here when it comes to what it is that they're realizing about you. Your person is realizing that there is more to you than perhaps what it is that they had assumed in the beginning. There's more to you than perhaps they ever were able to know or get to know because you had a lot of walls up. But there's like this element here of them understanding that like there's reasons behind that, and those reasons have to do with the fact that like they weren't necessarily worthy for the opportunity to see you, you know, completely and fully and vulnerably. But there's there's been an awakening in this person where they're realizing that there is something that they desperately want to get to know within you. There's something that they really want to know about you, that they never got the chance to know. And they know that it's going to be something incredibly special. They may not know what it is, but like intuitively they feel as though this is something very, like the treasure within you is so much more than they could have ever imagined. And I also think that a lot of this value or this like emphasis that's being put on like this specialness has to do with the fact that also they feel as though like, and I don't know if this is like they're aware of this or if it's subconscious, but there's been a lot of confusion in this person's life recently, or there's been when it comes to you and how they see you and how they view the connection and what it is that they're feeling is something that makes them feel confused in a lot of ways. And it's not because like you're playing games or anything like that. It's more so because they understand that there is something significant that is meant to happen between the two of you. And they don't know what it is. Like they can intuit that this is happening, that this is meant to be, but they don't know why. And like, they realize that the only way to find out is by, you know, coming toward you. And they feel your pull. They feel an energetic pull that you are like, I don't want to say taking, but like, yeah, you're like pulling them in a way. And it like, I don't think it's intentional, but I do think it's interesting that for one of the cards of what they've realized about you, we have this river card here. And then when it came to what their energy toward the connection was the river as well. And I feel like your person is realizing that all thoughts and all desires and all choices that they're making seem to constantly and consistently lead back to you. And the river card at the beginning of this reading was about like forgiveness, finding a way forward, allowing, you know, the water to wash over you and going with the flow and moving forward. And it feels like they're understanding that this movement forward, this ability to forgive themselves, this ability to ask for forgiveness or make things right is leading up to you. Yeah. So the last thing we're going to look into, pile 1, is what it is that they've realized about the connection, just in general. And for that, we have full moon in Taurus. Your dreams need a practical plan. We have number 41, soulmates. And we have number 6, conflict. So I would say, pile 1, that your person is realizing that like there needs to be practicality on top of like the deep emotions that they're feeling currently, or the daydreams that they could potentially be having toward you. There's understanding here that like just because they feel as though this is a really important connection and like this could potentially be like a soul level type of bond, just because they're understanding that and they're aware of it doesn't mean that there isn't going to be work that has to be put into this. And they're understanding that there's acknowledgement here, there's realization here that conflict has arisen in some capacity. And it may not be conflict that can, you know, be cleared just by having like some sort of resolution. It could very well be that the two of you are going to have to meet in the middle and work together. If one of you is not sincere in finding this resolution together, it's not going to work. And I feel like they're coming to the realization that work needs to be done, and like it's not going to be all rainbows and butterflies. They can't just waltz back into your life without putting in some sort of effort. And I think that this person has realized that the effort that is needed is well worth it, because you are meant to be in their life and they're meant to be in yours. And keep in mind, this is from their perspective, but that's what I'm seeing. Let's go ahead and get you guys some advice before we close this reading out. What advice is there for pile 1, Spirit, when it comes to this connection? Okay, we have maturity. I make peace with the tough relationships of my past. I probably would have skipped the pain they came with, but I'm grateful for the lessons they brought me. Because of those tough relationships, I can look back at the mosaic of my life and see value in even the most broken pieces. And we have receiving. I open up and allow myself to receive love in all ways from all directions. It may seem scary, but it's better than receiving audits, bedbugs, or hate mail. I receive love and it feels so good that I decide to receive it some more, and then some more, and maybe just a wee bit more. We're also going to get a few more oracles. What advice is there? Okay, so we have mystery, cleanse, and space. Interesting. I feel like, you know, again, with this cleanse card, we have this image. It's an image of water, right? And like I was just talking about how the river is an opportunity to cleanse oneself and then to be kind of released into the flow of things. And I feel like your guides are wanting you to know that like the space that's between the two of you right now is something that is necessary. And it's okay to feel uncomfortable in it, especially if this is something that you are feeling, if this is a mutual feeling that this person and you share when it comes to like what you think is the what you feel so strongly about this connection. Like I feel like the two of you, for the majority of you, the two of you both mutually feel these strong feelings and strong desires for one another, or like this pull toward one another. And it's okay to feel uncomfortable in that. And also it's okay to know that like there are certain things currently that are meant to be left kind of in the dark for the time being. I think it's interesting that we have this maturity card here. It's the first card that came out after we looked at what your person has realized about this relationship, about this connection. And, you know, like I was saying, they feel as though there's going to be work, there's going to be effort that has to be put into this. It's not just going to, the pieces aren't just going to fall together. Like there are probably pieces that are going to fall together in the sense of how the two of you come back together. But when it comes to actually rebuilding something, you're going to need to have an attitude or a perspective of maturity, of knowing that like the work must be done. But I feel like with this receiving card here, what this is telling you is that like this is something that when it comes to a reunion, when it comes to an opportunity for this work to be done, it's going to fall into your lap in some capacity. And I do feel like your person is more than likely going to be contacting you, so long as you are open to it. But that's what I'm seeing for you guys today, pile 1. Thank you so much for letting me read for you. Thank you for being here. Thank you for clicking on this video. I appreciate it. I appreciate the likes. Please, if you haven't done so already, subscribe to my channel. Comment on this video if you feel so inclined to. Any support is super appreciated. And I hope that I'll see you guys in another video soon. Bye. Hi, pile 2, and welcome to your reading. Thank you so much for joining me. Thanks for clicking on this video. Thanks for watching with me. Thank you. We're looking into what it is that the person on your mind has realized about you. And the cards that you've chosen are going to represent your person, what their current energy is toward this connection, who they're currently showing up as. This will help me get a better understanding of what's going on, and it will also help you understand whether or not this is actually your pile. So when it comes to who this person is currently showing up as, we have the Mother. The light attributes are nurturance, patience, unconditional love, joy, and giving birth to life. And the shadow attributes are smothering or abandoning children, instilling guilt in children for becoming independent. We also have Griffin. We have fearful, a learned behavior that can be unlearned, also a low vibrating feeling that creates limitations for you and future happiness. We have the vow, and this is representative of their current energy toward you and the connection, and we have wisdom. Okay, so who is this person? How are they currently showing up? I would say that this person is somebody who I feel as though has a very powerful and very strong presence. Like there's someone who, whether it's on purpose, like they're trying or not, their presence kind of demands to be seen or to be respected in some kind of way. Like this person just seems to have an immense amount of power. And I'm not talking power in the sense of like somebody who's manipulative or somebody who is controlling. It's not like that. It's more so like they are empowered within themselves. Like they're very comfortable in their own skin. They've gone probably through a lot for the majority of you, and they've come out on the other side wiser than before. And I feel like this is somebody who you can lean on in times of confusion or when you're not really sure where things are heading. This is somebody who provides guidance. I'm sorry if you can hear Lily. Lily has found a box. Let's just say that, and she's pretty happy about it. Yeah, but this person just seems to be somebody who is kind of like, for the most part, being authentic in who they truly are and in what it is that they believe in. Like they have a lot of values in certain ways, and I think that one of those values is this relationship and just relationships with others in general. And they have a lot of like I feel like accountability is like something that's really important for this person. Whether or not that's holding others accountable, but also holding themselves accountable. Like I don't think that this is like a hypocritical type thing or them expecting way more of others than they expect of themselves, but their expectations are high. And I would say that this person, like I feel like the two of you are together, because the energy that I'm getting when it comes to their energy toward the connection is energy that is committed. Like this is somebody who is very much so committed to this connection, to you, to the promises that they have made, or they're wanting to make more promises to you. They're wanting to take things further, deepen the bond that the two of you share. This person is somebody who is willing to put in the work. And I'm kind of wondering if for some of you, this is something that you are doubting or you are feeling a little unsure of. Like this person feels very sure, or they're at least showing up in a way that would appear as though they feel very sure. And I feel like with this fearful card here, this is something that obviously it's a feeling and an emotion that we all experience. And I feel like this is somebody who has gone through these emotions before and understands that a lot of the time fear is something that is holding them back, is limiting them and their potential. But I'm kind of wondering if you also are experiencing that, like if this person is kind of witnessing you go through this currently. Because I feel like this person has unlearned a lot, and is definitely oriented towards allowing themselves the happiness that they deserve and sharing in that happiness with others. And that maybe could not have been the case in the past. But if that sounds like your person, let's go ahead and look into what it is that they've realized. So we're going to get tarot, and we're going to look into what it is that they've realized about the feelings they have for you. I also have oracles to look into what it is that they've realized about you, like as a person. But let's get tarot first. Okay, Spirit. What has pile 2's person realized when it comes to their feelings for pile 2? Okay, so we have the 6 of Swords. We have the 2 of Cups. Strength. We have the 5 of Wands. Okay. And we have the Fool. Oh, okay. So I was going to ask, why is the 6 of Swords here? We have Justice. Please clarify the 2 of Cups. We have the 6 of Pentacles. Why is Strength here, Spirit? Okay. We have the Tower. And we have the 7 of Wands, 5 of Wands, and the Ace of Swords. And we have the 8 of Pentacles. Bottom of the deck is the 2 of Swords. Okay. So, I've heard a couple of times now, while pulling these cards, like it first came out with the 5 of Wands, like the main message that I keep hearing over and over and over again is that you're worth it. You're worth the effort. You're worth the work that is going to be put into this. Like, this person is realizing that, like, their feelings for you, pile 2, run deep. Deep, deep, deep. And I feel like they're willing to give it their all. And they are very much so hoping that you feel the same. And I don't think that for a lot of you, for the majority of you, I would say your person is not doubting this. Like, there's not a question of doubt within them, of wondering whether or not you feel the same way as them. For the majority of you, your person seems to be under the impression that these feelings are mutual. I think that your person is wanting to move things along faster. Is wanting to see more progress, or is wanting to see some changes that are like positive in their mind. But they're having to keep in mind that, like, it's not just about them, right? It's not about like the pace. It's not just about what they want and the pace that they feel comfortable with. And like, there's this understanding here and this desire to slow things down and go the pace that you are wanting to go. And I don't even see discomfort here in that. Like, I think that this person wants things in a certain way, but because they have such deep feelings for you, pile 2, this is not something that is bothering them. The only thing that I think would bother them is if they put pressure on you and it ended up causing some sort of damage to the relationship, or caused some sort of like harm, emotional harm to you. That's something that they are not they're not willing to take a chance on. Like, they value your intuition, they value your feelings, they value what it is that you want as well. And they want to be on the same page with you about it. And if that means slowing things down, or if that means keeping things where they are for right now, or not making a decision that they really want to make, but you are hesitant on, like, whatever the case may be, like, there's compromise here that is like, this person is like very much so open to. This person is in it for the long run, and they're realizing that. They're realizing that, like, they can be as patient as needed, because like, they don't see a future that you're not in with them. When it comes to what it is that they've realized about you, we have Anima Mundi. We have Grounded. We have Shapeshifter. The light attributes are skill at navigating through different levels of consciousness, ability to see the potential in everything. And the shadow attribute is projecting any image that serves your personal agenda in the moment. We have the prairie king snake. The keyword is shed, and the question being asked is, how can I know myself as bigger than any fear? And we have the queen. Okay, so I'm seeing with shapeshifter here, as well as with shed, as well as with the queen, there's this dual nature to you. And I feel like your person is realizing, like, there may have been a conversation, or there may have been a moment in which you showed another part of yourself recently, and it could have been a side of you that you have been holding off on, or maybe it wasn't recently, and your person is just understanding that, like, no matter what side you are choosing to kind of like show at any given moment, you are still the same person. And you are loved just the same by this person, is what I'm seeing. It's truly beautiful. I feel like you may be going through the process, at least your person is realizing this, like this is the realization that they've had, is that you may be going through a process where you've outgrown a certain fear, or you've outgrown a certain chapter, or you've outgrown a certain self-proclaimed identity. Like there's something here in which you are changing, and your person is realizing that, like, you could change a gazillion times, a billion times. You could, show up in another life, and it wouldn't matter. You'd still be the same soul, the same person to them, and they would love you just the same. It's really beautiful. Oh my gosh. Let's go ahead and look into what it is that they've realized about your connection. And for that, we have number 48, poised. We have full moon in Virgo, you are good enough. And we have number 52, keeping still. I think that your person has realized that, like, there's nothing that you or this person need to prove to one another. And that includes moving this connection in a direction that you may not be ready for, or that they may not be ready for. Like, there's nothing that needs to be proven. Like, this person is very much so at peace with where things are currently, is very happy with, like, who you are as a person, and, like, the future and the present that you share together, and, like, that you dream about together. And I think that this person is realizing that it's okay if you or this connection or other areas in your life are not necessarily ready for, the next step in whatever that is. Like, maybe it's you are, like, maybe this person, wants to, maybe it's like a financial thing. Like, your person really wants to purchase a home, and, like, it's their dream, and financially, it's just not the right time. There's nothing to prove, and it's okay. Like, that's a very weak example, but that's the example that came to my mind. But that's what I'm seeing. Let's go ahead and get some advice before we close out this reading. What advice is there for pile 2 when it comes to this connection? Okay, so we have grace. I face disagreements with grace and flow through the ups and downs of my relationships without getting thrown off center. With grace, I'm able to keep my cool, be my best self, and not resort to name calling, even when that crappy poo-poo face is being a douchey barf monster. And resilience. Sticks and stones may break my bones, and unkind words can somehow drain every bit of joy and color from my once rosy life. But nothing can ever permanently change the real me. I love myself, I cherish myself, and I vow to remember that I'm always camped out in the depths of myself, even when I don't feel very much of myself. Feel like very much of myself. What advice is there for pile 2 when it comes to this connection? Okay, so we have creativity, we have isolation, And we have disruption. That's interesting. I think it's interesting because, you know, with this disruption card here, this is giving me the same vibe as this Tower card. And I feel like what your guides are wanting you to know, what your guides are kind of like encouraging here, is for you to remind yourself that, like, isolation, if that is something that you need for whatever reason, that is an okay thing to need. Like, it's okay to need the things that you want, even if they may not necessarily be in alignment with what it is that this person wants currently. I feel like for a lot of you, there may be other things going on in your life currently that are like kind of taking your attention and taking a lot of your energy, and it could potentially be something that's really draining. And your guides are wanting you to know that, like, there's no pressure when it comes to this relationship. Like, it's okay to focus on the things that you need to focus on right now. I feel like there's a message here indicating that, like, the skills or the tools or the opportunities that you may need in the future, whether it's for this connection or for something outside of this connection, they're already within you. And even if you feel as though you've lost sight of yourself or you're not really in touch with yourself, it doesn't mean that you yourself are gone. You're always there with yourself, like, if that makes sense. But that's what I'm seeing for you guys today, pile 2. Thank you so much for clicking on this video. Thank you so much for watching. I'm so happy you clicked on it. I hope I'll see you again in another video. If you haven't done so already, please consider subscribing, like this video, comment on this video, anything to help support the channel. I'm super thankful for. But yeah, I hope I see you guys later. Bye. Hi, pile 3, and welcome to your reading. Thank you so much for being here with me. I'm super excited to do this reading. We're looking into what it is that they've realized about you. And the cards that you've chosen are looking into who this person is, like how they're currently showing up, what's their current energy toward you, toward the connection. If this doesn't sound like your person, it's probably not your pile, so I would suggest checking out another one. But yeah, let's go ahead and get started. So your person is currently showing up as the dilettante. The light attributes are delights in the arts without having to be a professional, alerts you to the danger of becoming superficial in your pursuits, and the shadow attribute is pretension to much deeper knowledge than you actually possess. We have the goose. We have greed. You are too attached to things in an excessive way. Nothing good comes out of it. And their energy toward the connection is self-worth. And the destroyer. Okay, so who's this person? How are they currently in this connection? I would say, pile 3, that your person, and you would agree with me on this. This is, if you don't agree with this, this is not your pile. But I would say that your person has not been a very pleasant person to be around lately. I feel like this is somebody who, for whatever reason, has a very inflated sense of self, and may feel as though they, like, I mean, like, it's just kind of like an ugly vibe to bring to a connection. Like, this person is looking out for themselves, and I feel like they're very selfish, or, you know, greedy, if you will, when it comes to attaining things, whether or not that's attaining a reputation of some kind, attaining a job of some kind, you know, material goods of some kind, like, whatever the case may be, this person seems to be focused on things that, like, are superficial and have more so to do with, like, how it looks rather than, like, how it makes this person feel. Like, I feel like this person is somebody who currently is more so worried about, like, appearances, or is more so worried about themselves than they are necessarily about how they appear to you. that would be like their priority is not your opinion currently. And I would say that this person may very well have burned a bridge recently with you. There's definitely an energy here of them rejecting this connection in some capacity. I feel like this person has burned some bridges, and I think that they may have done so a little too soon, a little too quickly. But like, you know, what's done is done. They cannot unshow you what it is that you've just seen. There's no way to take it back, right? Like, this person, I feel like, has shown you their true colors. And it honestly feels like it may have been like a blessing in disguise. Like you're lucky, or you feel lucky to be out of this in some capacity. This person just doesn't seem like personally for me, like based on just this energy alone, this isn't somebody that I would want as a friend. Like, this isn't somebody that I personally would want to give my time, my energy, my vulnerability to, and nor would I want to hold any of theirs for them. Just because it's like bad energy. And like, it's the energy of somebody who is thinking, what can you do for me? And like, that's all that there is. It's just like, kind of like, it's just greedy. So if that resonates, if this sounds like your person, I'm sorry, that this sounds like your person. But let's go ahead and get into it. So first we're going to look into what it is that they've realized when it comes to the feelings that they have for you. And we're going to use the tarot for that. I'm just like, I still feel it. Like, I'm just like, I got the ick. That's what I will say. Like, the feeling I have from reading that energy is the ick. Like, I feel almost embarrassed for this person. But I, you know, those are just my feelings. Okay, what has pile 3's person realized when it comes to what they're feeling? What have they realized about their feelings for pile 3? What has pile 3's person realized? Okay, so we have the High Priestess, Death, the Ace of Swords, and the King of Pentacles. And we have the Five of Wands. Okay, so the first thing that like comes to mind when this High Priestess card comes out is mirror, mirror on the wall, who's the fairest of them all. Like, it's just, it's so superficial, yes, but like vain. But let's keep going. Why is the High Priestess here? We have Strength. We have Temperance. We have the Nine of Swords, the Five of Swords, oof. And we have the Page of Cups, interesting. And then on the back of the deck we have the Chariot. Oh my goodness. Okay, so what has your person realized? Your person, I think, has just been served a dish of humble pie. Like, I think that however they went about this connection in the past, however they treated you in the past, has come to backfire on them in a pretty big way. I feel like what these cards are telling me, it's kind of like a story. Like, I see the like these top cards right here are telling me that in the past, this person was much more interested in self, right? Like, when it came to what they were feeling, they felt as though leaving this connection behind was going to be an amazing opportunity for them. It was going to bring about a lot of clarity, and it was going to give them a lot of potential to achieve greatness in some capacity. And like, I think that'll be different for all of you. So this could be, they thought that they could achieve greatness by, like, I don't know, like abandoning this connection and going after another one immediately, or abandoning this connection and focusing solely on their work. I feel like they felt as though their future was something that was really bright and the possibilities for abundance were really, really crystal clear for them. And it's turned out that that's not the case. And they're feeling as though they may have burned this bridge a little too quickly. Like if we look at the Chariot card here, this Chariot card represents, rapid forward movement. But like what I'm seeing in this background are all these cracks. Like it's almost like the foundation that they thought they were standing on was not actually as solid as they once believed, and now they're paying the consequences of it. It's like what they thought they saw in the mirror is not actually the truth of who they are, and they're suddenly being served the real mirror for them to see why it was that they were feeling the way that they were. And it's not because they're this like wonderful person and they have, a reason to feel all this like inflated sense of self. It's because they have an inflated sense of self, and it was not based on any merit or truth. I feel like the clarity that this person thought that they were going to be achieving and receiving from walking away from this connection has actually turned into a mental mess for them. Like the thoughts that are going on in their mind right now are going a mile a minute. And they're realizing this person feels their selfishness. And what I think is most interesting is with this King of Pentacles, this is a very abundant energy, and it's being clarified by the Five of Swords, which represents selfishness. But it's not just selfishness. This is winning at any cost, which means harming themselves in the process, which means nobody actually won. Like it was a lose-lose situation. And they feel that very strongly now. They realize the damage that they've done to themselves, as well as to this connection. And I think that there's honestly recognition here of their own shortcomings and emotional immaturity. I think that this person has really embarrassed themselves, or like there's been this like ego death. And I think it's something that they had no idea was coming. But let's go ahead and see what it is that they've realized about you in particular. And we have oracles for that. And for that, we have the Child Orphan. The light attributes are independence based on learning to go it alone, conquering fear of surviving. And the shadow attributes are feelings of abandonment that stifle maturation, seeking inappropriate surrogate families. We also have, let's do this one next. We also have the compass plant. The keyword is map, and the question being asked is which course takes me home. We have number 2, gatekeepers. We have the heart, and we have the mirror. This is interesting. I think where do I want to start? I feel drawn to the imagery in this King of Pentacles, as well as in the Child Orphan and the gatekeepers. So I see this crystal ball, this orb, and then if we look at the Child Orphan, this orphan is sitting on this orb, this ball. And then if we look at the gatekeepers, we see another orb right here. And I think what's really interesting is that if you remember from the first portion of this reading, your person was showing up as the goose. And now if we look at gatekeepers, we see 2 people, 2 gatekeepers. We see 2 wolves, and we also see 2 geese. And I think that this is significant because what it's telling me is that your person is realizing that you were not the problem. And I think that your person put some blame on you for some reason, whether or not it was because it was an easy cop out, it was an easy way to like walk away without like having to feel guilty or feel remorse or like have to admit that the way they're acting is just plain wrong. It could be that they felt you were holding them back in the sense of like they genuinely felt as though they wouldn't be able to achieve what it is that they wanted without your help. Like you were the one that was like stopping them. And I think that what they're realizing is that it wasn't you at all. It was them. They were stopping themselves. They were the problem. Like whatever it is that they set out to achieve, they did not achieve it, pile 3. And if anything, what they're realizing is that like it takes 2 to tango. And I feel like this person put all of this responsibility or fault on you for some reason. Like it's easier to blame you or blame someone else for their inability to expand, for their inability to evolve or to grow. And now that you're out of the picture, they're realizing that like they still can't evolve, they still can't grow, they're still not expanding. And it's because their sense of self is completely off. And I feel like what this mirror card is indicating is that they're finally realizing that what they were projecting on you was really who they are. And now they're looking at you and they're seeing that like you are growing, you are expanding, you are capable of being independent. This person may have like, pulled the rug right out from under you and it caused you to feel incredibly disoriented and lost, but it hasn't stopped you from finding your way. I just feel really upset for you, and how, like, if this is resonating, I feel angry for you and how you were treated. But I also feel a sense of like pride in you for being able to overcome this in such a way where like, even though this person treated you in such a way that like it brings anger in me, you did not let that break you. If anything, like you're doing amazing, sweetie. You're doing great. At least this is what your person is seeing. And I think that like with this heart here, especially if this person left you for another relationship of some kind, what they're realizing is you have the ability to expand when it comes to love, when it comes to developing relationships with others. And your heart and the way you love was not the problem here. If anything, it was something really sacred that they took for granted and did not treat sacredly. Okay, let's see what they realized about the connection. And for that, we have New Moon in Pisces, meditate and contemplate. We have New Moon in Gemini, communication is key. We have number 47, oppression. And we have number 40, co-create. So what I will say, again, like with the imagery, and these moon cards here aren't like this always, but like here with New Moon in Pisces, we have 2 fish. Here in New Moon in Gemini, we have 2 faces. It's like they're realizing when it comes to this connection, they're now realizing their part. They're now realizing that like you were not this monolith of the problem. They're realizing that it takes 2 to tango. And obviously that doesn't mean that you deserve to be treated this way. But I think that this person is having a realization where now they understand how they got to where they are, and they have to take responsibility. They have to take responsibility for their part, because the 2 of you were on the same path and this person wreaked havoc, and yet you were able to find your path. You are able to move on. You are able to evolve, to learn, to grow, to develop. And this person is not. So like, what does that say about them? Is essentially what I'm seeing. I think that this person realizes that like the damage is done. The damage of this connection is done, and like they really didn't leave a whole lot of opportunity for the, like, I'm envisioning like this person like overgrowing, overseeding, constantly like demanding more and more and more of this connection, and then stripping it bare, like pulling every plant, harvesting everything they could from it, and now there are no nutrients left in the soil, essentially. Let's get you some advice. This was a very heavy pile. Well, I cut the deck, and I feel like these might be your messages, in all honesty. We have support. I look at the vast network of support in my life, and I'm reminded of what a superpower it gives me. At any moment, I can call on an army of top-notch people who want the best for me, which means I'm basically invincible. Take that, loneliness. Run for the hills, boredom. I'm sorry, what did you say to me? Pervasive, all-consuming anxiety? Damn right you didn't. And boundaries. I claim my right to set healthy boundaries, and I allow others to do the same. Sometimes personal space is taken, and sometimes it's given. And sometimes if you're on the subway, it's completely disregarded and shamelessly invaded. I guess it depends on the day. I'm just going to leave these because I feel very strongly like those were for you. And then we're also going to get a few more oracles. What advice is there for pile 3 when it comes to this connection? We have confidence. We have rejection. And we have success. Like I just keep hearing like, it's not you, it's them. Like your guys want you to know, like it's not you, it's them. And I feel like for some of you, like whatever, because like the feeling that I have, like just within me, like in my gut, is one that is like the only word that comes to mind is just like the audacity. Like it's unbelievable almost, to the point where like it would make sense as to why you might doubt yourself. Like this person behaved in an unbelievable way, and like the way they treated you, the way they it's just unbelievable. And your guides are wanting you to know that like, no, like your experience was valid and it's not what they said it was. And you can listen to yourself, and you can tune out what it is that they said, because you have every reason to be confident. You have every opportunity to be successful. Like you're on the right path now, and it's because of this rejection. And your guides are just wanting to remind you of like the beauty and the worth and the strength that you have, that you bring to the table, even on your like lowest of days. There's still so much worthiness there. But that's what I'm seeing for you guys today, pile 3. Thank you for clicking. I'm sorry if this resonated for you. Please know that I am sending you so many hugs. I'm always wishing you nothing but the best. I'm always wishing you guys so much happiness. And I hope that I'll have a chance to read for you, hopefully in like a more positive reading next time. Yeah, bye. Hi pile 4, welcome to your reading. Thank you for clicking on this video. Thank you for being here with me today. We're looking into what it is that the person on your mind has realized about you. And the cards that you've chosen represent your person, how they're currently showing up, what their current energy toward the connection is. This will let you know whether or not this is your pile. Then we'll look into, the good stuff. Okay, so when it comes to who this person is, we have the Liberator. The light attributes are freeing yourself and others from outmoded beliefs, releasing negative thought patterns. And the shadow attributes are imposing your own tyranny over those you claim to liberate, ignoring legitimate constraints. We have Moose. we also have prejudice. What if you were categorized into a group and given attributes that were false without truly knowing who you are? And then their energy toward the connection is the venom and soulmate. Okay, so who is this person? How are they currently showing up? I feel like this is somebody who is coming on really strongly right now. And I think it's because their feelings are so very strong that like this person may not necessarily know what it is that they can do with them. They don't have an outlet entirely for them. But this person feels very strongly about you as something that's coming through very loudly. But I think that they're kind of showing up in a way that's rigid in the sense of like their expectations of you or their expectations of what they want are very rigid and like lack the ability to kind of like be molded and fitted into something where it's more of a compromise or more of a meeting in the middle. I think that this person thinks very highly of you, and because of this, they have high expectations. Like they think very highly of you, they think very highly of this connection, the feelings that they have for you are very strong, and because of this, their expectations are very high. And it could be that this person has high expectations of themselves too, but if that's the case, they're being pretty hard on themselves. And I feel like they may be a little hard on you or on this connection. And I sense that this is something that they are somewhat aware of, and at least like with the venom here, I feel like there's an awareness that this is something that like their behavior in some capacity is problematic. Their behavior is potentially overwhelming or overbearing or very intense. And I don't think that this person is intending on coming across the way that they do or is intending on trying to like manipulate you. It's more so a reflection of the relationship that they have with themselves. But there's recognition here that like something needs to change in that regard because like how they are behaving, whether or not it's intentional or not, is harmful in some capacity. And they don't want to cause harm because there is love here. So that's what I'm seeing. I'm seeing somebody who has like a really strong personality, who may very well be set in their ways or has up until this point been very set in their ways. And I think that they want to be the best version of themselves. And so there is a lot of effort being made here on your person's end to kind of evolve and show love to part of themselves that perhaps they've never even been aware of. And I think also like one thing that's coming through is that like you may be teaching this person or this relationship, whether you're aware of it or not, has taught this person what it means to love. And when they look at you, they see you and the ways in which potentially you kind of hold yourself back or limit yourself. And, you know, like they want to celebrate you for all that you are because there's so much love here, right? And they see themselves as, you know, they want to be your ally, your cheerleader, your support system. And I think that for a lot of you, your person may not have ever experienced that themselves when it comes to love. And this could be like a childhood type of wound. It doesn't have to be. But I think for this reason, they're now realizing because they're experiencing love themselves, they're experiencing this true love for you. They're understanding that they need to give themselves the same cheer, the same support, the same freedoms that they are wanting to give you. They're realizing that they need to break free of certain chains that they have placed themselves in that are not only just affecting their own happiness, but may be causing, you know, some rifts in this connection. So if that sounds like you, or not you, but your person, let's go ahead and get into what it is that they've realized. And for this, we're going to use the tarot, and we're going to look into what it is that they've realized about their feelings. And then we'll also look into what it is that they've realized about you as a person, as well as what it is that they've realized about just this connection as a whole. Okay, Spirit, so we're looking into pile 4 and their person. What has pile 4's person realized about their feelings? What has pile 4's person realized when it comes to how they're feeling? Okay, so we have Death, the Page of Wands, the Ace of Swords, the Ace of Wands reversed, what has pile 4's person realized? Okay, and then we have the Hierophant. Please clarify Death. Interesting. We have the Sun. And the Page of Wands, we have the King of Swords. With the Ace of Swords, we have the Seven of Wands. Why is the Ace of Wands reversed? Interesting. So we have the World and the Five of Pentacles reversed. And why is the Hierophant here? The Ace of Cups. Bottom of the deck is the Four of Wands. Okay. So what is it that your person has realized? Well, I think that it's interesting that we have the Sun coming out because, you know, I mentioned just a few minutes ago that I feel like for some of you, these wounds that this person is kind of like letting spill into this connection are related to their childhood. And the Sun is representative of child healing, like inner child healing. It's your inner child, right? And this Sun card in particular is an image of two suns holding hands together, and it's like they're celebrating. And I feel like they're realizing that you are also their champion, their cheerleader, and this connection has given them the opportunity to heal those parts of themselves that perhaps they didn't even know needed healing, or didn't know needed nurturing, didn't know needed love. And I feel like this person is realizing that there are certain things from their childhood, or they're just certain wounds in general, it doesn't have to be their childhood, that are no longer serving them. And their reactions to these wounds could have been something that really did serve them in the past, but their reactions now and how they approach things now based on these wounds no longer have a place in helping them achieve the goals that they have for this relationship. And they're realizing that, like, it's no longer relevant to their present moment. And I think that your person is realizing that they feel excited by this. Like, it might be something that, you know, at first glance is something that's scary, but this feels like a new adventure for them. This person is realizing that there are all these other ways to think and to approach life and to live life. And there's something exciting about that when it comes to realizing that, like, you don't always have to do things the way you've always done them. I think that there's still a little bit of like rigidity here, and like I think that some of it is just like a personality thing, but this person is like determined. Maybe that's the right word. Like, they're realizing that they are determined to keeping their mind open. They are determined to gaining clarity whenever they feel like shutting down or shutting an idea down. Whenever they feel threatened in some sort of way, there's this realization that they've come to, where they're understanding that, like, by not shutting down, they actually get to enjoy the experience of experiencing something new. I think this person feels as though they may have been, how do I want to say it? Not living life fully. Like, I feel like this person is realizing that they have been holding themselves back from some of the most inspiring and beautiful parts of life. And it's caused them to miss out on some things. And not all positive, right? Like, I think that some of the things that they've missed out on have, are opportunities that could be perceived as sad or as hurtful. But they're also like those opportunities or those experiences that this person feels as though they've missed out on are like universal experiences. And they're realizing that I just feel like that when it comes to this person's feelings, they're realizing that like they are changing and they cannot go back to sleep, right? Like, they know how they feel about you, pile 4. They know what they want with you. Like, this person sees a future with you. This person sees something very long term with you. This person has a lot of love for you, pile 4. And that's not something that's going to go away. And I think that that's something that they had to realize for themselves. Is that, I mean, like, this is so specific, but it just feels like your person is somebody who may have been a little bit fearful of change when it comes to like their own approaches and their own beliefs and their own ways of doing things, just because they were afraid of losing you. I think that you're somebody who's very special to them, and they're realizing that like by them living their life to the fullest, by them allowing themselves to make mistakes, by not being afraid to fall and get back up, by them doing that, it's actually kind of indicative of how much they do love you. And they want the same for you. I think this person's just, they're becoming more open-hearted, open-minded, open to change. And they're feeling less threatened by it. Okay. When it comes to what they've realized about you, let's see, how do I want to do this? We have the Queen. The light attributes are radiates the regal feminine, uses her benevolent authority to protect others. And the shadow attributes are becomes arrogant when authority is challenged, controlling, and demanding. We have the Dickkissel. The keyword is warble, and the question being asked is, am I singing my song? We have the Bardo, the Forest, and we have Rest. It's interesting. I feel like your person is realizing that, like, you also are, like, I think that they're realizing that you also are going through your own challenges, your own transformations. And it could very well mean that, like, you aren't going to be the same person that you were, a month ago or 2 years ago or whatever the case may be. But whoever you are becoming, whatever path you are on, whatever path feels right to you, is one that they can trust in because they trust in you. And they know that to love someone is to want them to feel free, right? It's not to put them in a cage. And it's okay for you to be wherever you are at in your journey. And it's not a representation of, like, your feelings for them. Where you're at in your journey is not equal to the feelings you have for this person. And I think your person may have had a hard time in the past separating that. I know this is, like, super specific. I think that this pile in particular is going to be for a select few. Okay. And then when it comes to what it is that they've realized about this connection, we have number 43, deep knowing. We have full moon in Libra, a win-win outcome is forecast. And we have number 31, mutual attraction. Okay, so what has your person realized about the connection? I think like what stands out to me the most is this full moon in Libra. We have the scale right here and it's in balance. And I feel like your person is, I think they've realized their part in this connection, and they're finally able to see balance within it because they are allowing you the space to do the same, right? And like this person feels very hopeful. They're realizing that like the future is actually something that looks very positive. And I don't think that they in the past realized that by letting go of control, they could still have faith that something is going to turn out beautifully. But there is this deep knowing. Intuitively, they feel as though the two of you are on the same page and the two of you feel the same way about one another. And the future is really bright for the two of you. This person has taken on a very optimistic approach to this connection and the future of it, pile 4. Okay, let's go ahead and get you guys some advice. What advice is there for pile 4? So we have benefit of the doubt. I believe in the basic goodness of other people and I give them the chance to show it. If they prove me wrong, that's on them. At least I can go to sleep knowing that I practice trust and forgiveness rather than fear and doubt. And later on, if I need to, I can always change my mind and retroactively judge them like it's my career. And we have celebration. When I come across people in happy, healthy relationships, I give jealousy the finger and celebrate their joy. When I do so, I'm rooting for the good guys, which means that I'm a good guy, and that means all of us win. Who wants to celebrate? What advice is there for pile 4? Okay, we have anger. We have illumination. And we have determination. This is interesting. I think that like, especially like if you're still listening to this, I'm assuming that this has resonated for you. So what I will say is that like with this anger and then benefit of the doubt, like there's this message of like remembering to put and in a sentence, or like remembering that like two things can be true at the same time. Like your guides are wanting to remind you that like your person may have had your best interest at heart, and they may not have been trying to manipulate you or back you into a corner. And at the same time, your feelings were valid. And if you feel angry about that, it's okay to feel angry about that. Just because somebody's intentions were good does not mean that the effect of their actions have that outcome. And it's okay to maintain a boundary in the future, knowing that this is something that you do not like. I think that like this card here, celebration, is more so the energy I was picking up on with your person. Like, to love someone is to celebrate them, regardless of whether or not it has anything to do with like you and the connection the two of you share, essentially. But I feel like your guides are wanting you to know that as long as like you keep these boundaries and as long as you two remain on the same page and continue to communicate, this obstacle that has gone on between the two of you should not return, like has the ability to no longer be in your future. Yeah, that's what I'm seeing for you guys today, pile 4. Thank you so much for clicking on this. Thanks for watching this video. If you haven't done so already, I'd love if you subscribe to the channel, comment on this video, share this video, like this video. However you feel so inclined to support this channel, I will be appreciative. I hope that I'll see you guys in another video soon. Bye!